What's up, peeps? Welcome to BANDOFBROS. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the art of centering, meaning the art of always aiming where the enemy is going to be. So let's jump right into this video. So starting off with tip number one, which I believe is one of the most important tips, is going to be map knowledge, meaning memorizing basically just how the building layouts work, where the door's at, when you exit out the door, is there windows outside, is there cars? And this is going to be a very, very crucial part of centering. And let me show you why. Because centering, the basics of centering is having your aim where enemies are most likely to appear before you actually have to do corrections, right? So instead of you running around and you see an enemy to the right and you have to move your aim or correct, centering, a really good player that centers would already have their aim like really, really close to where a target would be. So before we open this door right here, I play this map quite a bit, and I chose this map specifically because it's got quite a few buildings, windows, and all that. So centering works really well. So before I open this, I know there's going to be cars to my right where there's a possibility of people coming. There is a little hallway that opens that leads to that to the big hallway right there. So we got things right there. We've got a car that is right in the middle, and then we've got a building that people can go in. So we got the windows on that top floor. So as we're approaching in, it's, you know, kind of like military style, right? You don't want to open the door, because if you open the door, you've got way too many, right? You've got somebody that can shoot you from here. You got somebody who can shoot you from here, 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 here. You just got way too many possibilities. So first, let's take out the first one, which is going to be right over here. So as we open the door, as you guys can see, I'm centered, right? The second I open the door, if there's somebody there, all I just need to do is aim and shoot. So we take a look. There's nobody there. So now my next one, what I want to do is, usually people try to be on that higher part, right? They like to sneak up in windows and stuff like that. So I already know that the windows are there. So as you guys can see, before I peek, my aim is already going to be moving towards the window. So if I peek right there, as you guys can see, my aim is already right on point. If there's somebody there, all I have to do is a little micro adjustment, and I'm going to shoot him. Instead of going out like this, if there's a guy on that window, he's going to get you. There is no way they're going to win that gunfight. This way, you're pre-aiming to the windows, and I like doing this, right? Checking out the little windows right there. If you see somebody, you check them out. See somebody, take them out. But again, pre-aim. Now you see there's nobody there. Now let's go to the bottom. We're going to go down here, and we're going to move to the left. And as soon as I move to the left, take a look at that. I mean, my aim is exactly where somebody's head would be. And if they're head glitching, you know, around there, we would get them as well. So that's why it is very, very important. Now, let's say we want to move on to this one right here. How is your movement? So I know there's going to be a doorway right there. So when I run, I don't want to run like this. You know, I don't. This is like a newbie running, right? You don't want to run like this. You always try to run with your aim towards where the person might come out. So as I'm running like this. And as you guys can see, your aim is always in the middle. Now, here as I go in, I know there's a doorway right behind this wall, right? So as soon as I walk in, there could be somebody right over here, right? We kind of scout the area. Right? There's nobody there. So as we're walking in, my aim is geared towards that doorway right there, which is right here. As you guys can see, there's a door right here, obviously. But, you know, if you don't see anybody, your aim would be here. Why? Because, again, as we go out, take a look at that. Again, like I mentioned, you got the hallway going out. So before we're aiming, if we see anybody right there, it'd just be aim and a little micro adjustment. So again, very, very important. Now, let me show you something, again, a little bit more interesting when it comes to centering, which I see people doing wrong, and is with the stairways. There's a lot of stairways in the game. You got stairways here, you got stairways there. You got stairways in a lot of parts of the map. And I see a lot of people just running up the stairs like this, you know. What's wrong with that, right? I ran it perfectly. Well, not really. Stairways, let me actually go to one that has a little bit more stairs. So let's go to this one, which is, this is a very popular building on this side of the map. So again, I see a lot of people just running up like this, right? And you're like, whoa, what's wrong with going up the stairs like this? Well, if somebody appears, you ain't going to be ready, and they going to beam you down. So how should you run down up the stairs, right? So it's the same thing. As I'm walking up here, I see a set of stairs, right? So my aim gradually starts going up, and as I take a look at that, if somebody would peek out, my aim is ready to rock and roll where that person is. And as I'm moving up, again, I start rolling around the corner, and my aim starts moving up. Same thing. Take a look at that. If there's somebody there, they would be right on my aim. And now, as I start going up, my aim starts going down a little bit. And right there we go, ladies and gentlemen, right in the middle of the screen. Now, here, I know there's another set of stairway. Same thing. Instead of running up like this, you're not really going to catch somebody there. So as soon as you're moving up, you want to start looking at the stairways. And same thing, looking up already. If there's somebody on that stairways, boom, you got to catch them right in the middle. Same thing here. We want to peek somebody right here. So now we know this part is clear, right? So how do we start moving? We start moving along the stairways, right? So you want to move like this, along the stairways. Now, always check the corners. That's a recommendation. A lot of people like to, you know, lay in the ground in Battlefield, be like right here. So something a little check is, once you're coming up here, make sure it's clear. You take a little quick peek. There's nobody there. A little quick peek right here, right? Ain't nobody there. All right, there we go. Now we want to move up. And that is how you clear stairs like a pro with centering. Now, a lot of people may also say, like, man, but I ain't got time to, memorize every single building like this in Battlefield. There's just so many of them. So what do I do? Well, if you don't know the layout, what I recommend is quick peeking, right? A quick peek is just doing this, right? A quick little peek. So let's say I don't know what's behind this, right? I've never played this map. I don't play it that much. So quick peeking is going like this, and you're like, okay, I see a little hallway. Okay, I see what I can do. So once you quick peek, there's a hallway there, and you pre-aim, right? So across the wall, you're pre-aiming, and you're going to do a little quick peek again. So we'll move left. I don't see nothing here. I don't see nothing here. So we'll do a little quick peek right here. Okay, I see there's a little doorway. All right, now I'm going to pre-aim, right? Now, as you guys can see, as I'm moving, I'm always locked on that. What the hell am I stuck on right here? I'm always locked on that thing. So as you guys can see, that is how you can do. So again, if you don't know the map, do a lot of quick peeks. So go like this, try to take a look. I don't know what's going on here. I'll do a little quick peek right there. I see a little door right there. So again, instead of aiming like this, we see a door, we're going to pre-aim through the door. Right down the middle. Now, another big thing that I want to talk about when it comes to centering is this is just the hip fire aspect of it, right? Which is pretty important. It gets your weapon ready. But another aspect of the game is like, so where should you aim, right? Let's say you're going down this hallway, right? Should you ADS like to somebody's head? Should you ADS to the middle of their body? Should you walk in like this, aiming at their feet? What is the best option? Well, that actually depends on one very important aspect, and that is the kind of aim, the kind of sight that you have. So if you don't have any sight, so if you have an iron sight, I would recommend you aim to the middle of that person's body. Why would I recommend you do that? Well, take a look at this. If I am aiming right with my ADS right here, right with my iron sight, if I'm aiming with my iron sight, the problem is that, let's say that's the person's head, right? You have to be aiming exactly where that person's head is, obviously, to shoot the bullet and hit the person's head. But as you guys can see, a big part of the visual is blocked by my gun. Now, I have a handgun, but obviously, if you have an AR, it blocks a big part of your screen. So if you're aiming at somebody's head like this, and take a look at this, if somebody's crouched right here, you would not be able to see him. So if you pre-aim like this, and you're ADSing head level, you would not be able to see him. I mean, that guy would be completely invisible to you, and he'd get the block on you, and he'd kill you instantly. So if you have iron sights, what I usually recommend is kind of like aiming towards the middle. Now, if you aim towards the middle, as you guys can see, you'd have a visual on him, right? Sometimes they can be on the ground, but that's why you want a quick peek a little bit. But there we go. If we aim towards the middle, you could do adjustment, right? If he's up high, do a little adjustment, shoot to the higher. If he's crouched, then you've got him right on point there. But just remember, if you're using an iron sight, aim a little bit towards the middle of the body because, again, your gun can block a big part of the visual. And why does this matter? If you have a scope, as you guys can see, it's way different, right? If you have a red dot sight, I can aim head level, and even if the guy's crouching or even laying down, I can see him, and I can do the micro adjustment to shoot at him. So that's what's very important. I know some people like running like iron sights, but I always recommend running at least a red dot sight, and that is one of the biggest reasons why. I mean, just the visibility. Again, if you're pre-aiming around this corner, take a look at that. We can see if somebody's crouching, or going prone on the ground. If we go with a gun, that's iron sight. Look at this. Look at how much visibility you lose just because of that. So again, I would recommend you definitely running a red dot sight. And talking about this, let's just go into one of the settings that I think would help you out a lot. So we're gonna go here into the HUD settings, and then we are gonna go. This is the start. We're gonna go almost all the way to the bottom where it says crosshairs. Now, crosshairs is a very, very important part of your aiming, right? You want to make sure that your crosshairs are visible so you know where you're aiming at and you know what you're doing. So number one here is the crosshair intensity. I would suggest you to increase that. It's usually set a little bit lower when you just download the game. And again, just what this one means is just going to make it a little bit more intense, easier to see that. And I do recommend changing the crosshair color. As you guys can see, I chose a neon green, and it just sticks out in the map a lot. And it's very, very easy to track. I mean, neon green, something that's just neon bright. You know where your crosshairs, you know where you're aiming. And very important here, turn the infantry crosshair projection off. This one means that like if you're vaulting or jumping up and down, like your crosshair, if it's on, your crosshair will move towards your gun is actually aiming, but that just does a little bobbly thing. So turn that off, and that means that your crosshairs will always be where it's meant to be. So now I'm just going to run a little simulation as I am going to go up this building all the way to the top and cross the catwalk on how would I be aiming, right? Obviously, there's going to be no enemies, but just so you guys can see what a good centering would look like as I clear out a building. And I'm going to go just a little bit slower just so you guys can see all my aiming. So let's say I start from right over here, all right? So we're going to start running. I know there's a staircase right over there, as you guys can see, aiming through the walls. So as I'm aiming through the walls. We're going to walk right over here. As soon as I'm going up, I start aiming up. I don't see anybody. go up, run down the stairs. As you guys can see, do a little quick peek. Ain't nobody there. As we start going up, my aim starts going down and already aiming to the most possible target, which would be these stairs. I don't see anybody there. Do a quick little peek to the right. Don't see anybody there. All right, we're going to go up the stairs. And again, as I'm approaching, my aim is going up. I don't see anybody here. Do a quick little peek down there. Ain't nobody there. All right, we start moving up and aim starts moving down as well. As we start going up the stairs, ladder starts moving down. And we do a little quick peek. Left, right, nobody there. All right, so right side, nobody there. And here we start moving up. Start moving up like this. And there we go. Nothing seems to be here. As we're moving, again, we are moving our aim as it goes throughout the catway. As you guys can see, my aim is always in the middle of the catway. So if I'm moving up like this and an enemy surprises, I can just do a little micro adjustment, left, right, wherever he is. But remember, always keep that aim nice and secure. Let's move down the hallway right over here. We're aiming through the wall already. As you guys can see, where the head glitch of somebody could be behind that. Moving towards the wall right over here. As we're moving, walking down that doorway as well. Aimed already throughout that. Moving throughout. Checked corners always. We're moving. Remember, we got a little doorway to the left. We want to stick close to this right here. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So remember, very important as well, you always want to stick to where the nearest wall is right here. So don't aim like there's to the middle, because this is going to allow you to go right and then left if the guy moves. If you're right over here and somebody sneaks to the left, you just follow him left, right? So very easy. Always stick, your aim always sticks to the wall. Stick to the wall, stick to the wall, stick to the wall, stick to the wall. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you have it. Remember, it goes with a lot of practice. Just remember your hip fire. Try to pre-aim where somebody is most likely to be and just follow your aim throughout. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, comment it down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Peace out, and I'll see you all in the next one.